Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to take you through the thrilling 2018 action, drama, and sci-fi film Extinction. Warning, spoilers ahead, so watch out. The story begins with Peter standing on his apartment balcony as the night sky suddenly erupts in a bright light. Out of nowhere, millions of laser beams rain down, striking the city in a devastating blaze of fire and destruction. Then Peter jolts awake, realizing it was only a dream. Shaken, he wakes his wife Alice, who insists he see a doctor, as his relentless nightmares are beginning to tear their family apart. Later, while wrapping up his workday, Peter's world tilts as he suddenly loses consciousness, slipping into yet another unsettling dreamlike vision. Peter finds himself trapped in visions of a catastrophic apocalypse, dreaming of cities in flames and families torn apart. When he finally wakes, he's already missed the precious family time he promised his daughters. By the time he gets home, Alice confronts him, frustrated and worried, urging him once more to seek professional help. This time, Peter agrees, and that night, he's haunted by another dream. His daughter Lucy weeping over the lifeless bodies as Hannah, his other daughter, emerges, carrying a gun. The following day, Peter follows through on his promise and meets with the sleep specialist his colleague David recommended. While waiting, another patient strikes up a conversation, unaware that Peter's troubled mind is wrestling with fears that seem to creep closer to reality each day. During a tense wait at the sleep clinic, Peter meets another patient who admits to having the same disturbing visions, suggesting that the clinic staff might be hiding something. This revelation sends Peter into a daze, and he stares at a painting in the lobby, slipping into another vivid dream, a post-apocalyptic world where he and Alice, along with others, are armed and searching a ravaged city for survivors. Shaken to the core, Peter cancels his appointment and returns home, only to be met by an exasperated Alice, who dismisses his fears about an impending apocalypse. That evening, the family hosts a party to celebrate Alice's promotion, and as Peter tries to focus, he strikes up a conversation with their neighbor, Ray. Suddenly, bright flashes light up the night sky, and Peter and Ray watch in terror as a single drone descends. The moment it touches down, a massive shock wave blasts through the city, shattering glass and knocking them back into their apartment. Dazed, they glance outside, horrified to see hundreds more drones dropping from above. Chaos erupts as Peter and Ray scramble through the building to find their daughters. They eventually locate the girls trapped in an elevator and manage to pull them to safety. Meanwhile, Alice clutches Lucy tightly under a table, trying to keep her safe as the drones patrol, searching relentlessly. The family finally reunites in their home, frantically devising an escape plan when someone begins banging on the door. They quickly hide their daughters, barricading the entrance to keep the intruder out. Amid the chaos, little Lucy sneaks away to retrieve her beloved stuffed toy from under the dinner table, clutching it tightly as fear freezes her in place. Suddenly, laser beams slice through the walls, followed by the gleam of a sword. Peter and Alice rush back to their hiding spot, only to realize Lucy is missing. By now, a soldier has already broken into their home, spotting Lucy curled up under the table. The soldier examines Lucy closely, but before he can act, Peter bursts forward and tackles him to the ground. They grapple fiercely, and as Peter draws his gun, Lucy seizes the chance to run to her mother. Alice jumps in, hurling debris at the soldier, striking his helmet hard enough to knock him out. With the soldier finally down, the family flees, only to find the building teeming with more soldiers. Moving cautiously, they navigate their way up to the rooftop, where they find their neighbors, Ray and Samantha, huddled with their daughter, Megan. Together, they stand on the rooftop, staring in silent horror at the widespread destruction unfolding around them. The families huddle down in fear as another drone sweeps over the rooftop, scanning for movement. With no clear escape route, they decide to risk the window cleaner's platform on the side of the building, descending carefully. But suddenly, one of the support bars snaps, leaving only a single cable between them and a deadly fall. Just as the platform threatens to give way, they scramble through a broken window on a lower floor, narrowly escaping as the platform crashes to the ground below. Meanwhile, back in Peter's apartment, the soldier regains consciousness, recovers his weapon, and starts following their trail with relentless determination. In a dim room, Alice apologizes to Peter, softly asking if he'd seen their deaths in his visions, but Peter stays silent, focusing on fixing the soldier's gun for their escape. They hastily plan to reach Peter's factory through the old tunnels Alice had helped redesign. Suddenly, an explosive blast shakes the building, and a drone's fire tragically kills Ray's wife and daughter. With hearts racing, Peter's family runs for safety, navigating the smoke-filled corridors. They reach the ground floor, only to be confronted by two armed soldiers blocking their way in a narrow hallway. Thinking fast, Peter frantically rewires the captured gun, readying them for a final chance to survive. Risking everything, Peter seizes an electrical cord from across the room and quickly reboots the captured gun. He fires at the soldiers blocking their way, leaving them lifeless on the floor. The family bolts from the building into the chaos of burning streets, ducking behind debris and dodging rubble as they narrowly evade death. Unbeknownst to them, the soldier they previously subdued is back on their trail, tracking their every move. Finally, they reach the tunnel entrance, slipping in one by one. But when it's Lucy's turn, she freezes, eyes wide in terror as an approaching drone hovers, its ominous glow casting over her. Alice rushes to scoop Lucy up just in time, and they dive through the tunnel entrance as Peter slams the door shut behind them. The drone fires missiles at the closing door, causing a cave-in that traps them inside. Miraculously, they all survive, but Alice is severely injured, blood seeping from a wound on her side. Peter, desperate, helps her limp through the dark, winding tunnels. Though his hope is quickly fading, he knows Alice's condition is worsening. They stop to rest briefly, but their reprieve is cut short as the soldier tracking them finally catches up, launching a relentless attack that forces them back into survival mode. Peter and the soldier grapple for control of the gun, their struggle fueled by adrenaline and desperation. With a sudden surge of strength, Peter gains the upper hand and fires several shots, but the cloud of dust that fills the air impairs his vision. As he blindly fires into the darkness, the soldier lunges through the haze, seizing the weapon from Peter. In a moment of instinct, Peter grabs a nearby rock and begins bashing it against the soldier's head, forcing him to surrender and slide down against the wall. As Peter stands over him, prepared to deliver the final blow, the soldier unexpectedly removes his helmet, revealing himself to be a human being. Shocked to discover that his enemy is not the alien monster he had imagined, Peter hesitates, his mind racing as he confronts this unexpected truth. With the gun aimed firmly at the soldier, Peter orders him to carry Alice as they make their way to the factory, where they reunite with David and a handful of other survivors. The girls' cries fill the air as the medical team desperately tries to revive their mother, but Peter, overwhelmed by the sight of Alice in such pain, begs them to stop. When the medics inform him that it's too late to save her, he refuses to accept the grim reality. Suddenly, the captive soldier calls out, claiming that he can help her. Torn between anger and desperation, Peter points his gun at the soldier, knowing he faces a harrowing choice: gamble on the uncertain help of his enemy to save the woman he loves. Taking a leap of faith, Peter asks David to escort his daughters to the last train evacuating the city, giving them a tearful goodbye as his colleague drags the girls away. Heart-pounding, he takes Alice and the soldier to one of the medics' rooms, handing the soldier his Swiss Army knife. With urgency in his eyes, the soldier begins to cut open Alice's wound, and despite Peter's desperate pleas to go easy, he insists that there is no other way. As the soldier opens the wound, he grimly informs Peter that it's just as dire as the medics had warned. When Peter finally dares to look at Alice's injury, he gasps in horror, realizing that it's not just flesh that has been damaged, revealing a shocking and gruesome truth. As Peter stares in disbelief at the wires, cords, and visible electricity coursing through Alice's body, the soldier looks at him, equally bewildered, and asks if Peter doesn't understand what he truly is. Unable to respond, Peter simply shakes his head, prompting the soldier to explain that the only way to save Alice's life is to siphon power from another energy source, meaning Peter himself. However, the soldier warns that this gamble could fail, potentially splitting the current and resulting in their deaths. Yet, knowing he must fight for his wife and daughters, Peter takes a deep breath, grasps the knife, and cuts a line into his chest. To his surprise, he feels an electric jolt coursing through him, igniting a desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, he can save Alice after all. To his astonishment, Peter feels no immense pain and is shocked to see the same wires and electricity coursing through his own body. The soldier quickly attaches a wire, connecting Peter to Alice, and as they begin to recharge, they are engulfed in the same visions once more. This time, however, the images unveil a startling truth. Peter's visions are not mere dreams, but actual memories from the past. It is revealed that both Peter and Alice, who fell deeply in love, are synthetics, artificial intelligence designed by humans to resemble them and serve all of humanity. Yearning for equal rights, the synthetics had initiated a revolution, and in a courageous act, Peter had rescued Alice from human soldiers, leaving one of them dead in the process. Unintentionally, Peter had fought alongside the synthetic rebels with nothing but his bare hands, and together they successfully drove the humans into outer space. As the remaining synthetics began to survey the desolate cities for survivors, Alice and Peter stumbled upon Hannah and Lucy, two orphan girls whose parents had perished in the war. Unable to leave the children behind, the couple made the heartfelt decision to adopt them as their own. In the aftermath of the war, most of the synthetics, including Peter, Alice, and their newly adopted children, voluntarily had their memories replaced, allowing them to escape the haunting fear of their past and start anew as a family. However, others, like David, chose a different path to keep their memories intact and prepare for the inevitable return of the humans. Peter wakes up to find Alice alive. The gamble had paid off. The soldier, introducing himself as Miles, shares the fate of humanity after the synthetics had driven them off to Mars, where they were forced to settle in colonies. It took years for the humans to rebuild their resources and plot their return to reclaim what they believed was rightfully theirs. However, Miles reveals that he only learned part of the story. He had helped them, not knowing they planned to kill innocent children and families, and that was something he could never condone. As Alice wakes up, she shares her newfound revelations with Peter, urgently asking about the girls. Peter helps his wife to her feet, stealing a final glance at the human who saved her life. In gratitude, he introduces himself and hands over his Swiss Army knife, stating it didn't truly belong to him. With their fate uncertain, Peter and Alice race down the tracks, only to find themselves caught in a fierce crossfire. Though the humans manage to take down a few of the synthetics, their enemies hold their ground with relentless determination. In a moment of bravery, Peter dashes through the chaos, snatching up Lucy's toy and a gun, ready to cover Alice as she presses on. Alice sprints through the steel doors, closely followed by Peter as they navigate the dark tunnels just in time to hear the humans breaching the fort. They push forward, reaching the exit where they spot a train pulling away, carrying their daughters. The girls leap off the train, rushing into their parents' arms, sobbing and embracing them tightly, with David trailing behind, valiantly holding off the attackers. As the family scrambles aboard, David leaps into the train, firing off several last shots at their pursuers. The train pulls away, and amidst the chaos, the family embraces each other in tears, overwhelmed with relief that they are all alive. As the train speeds out of the tunnel, the family gazes through the windows at the sunrise illuminating their once beloved city, now engulfed in flames and destruction. With a deafening explosion, the tracks detonate behind them, obliterating any chance for their pursuers to follow. In that moment, they ponder the possibility that if humans and synthetics could recognize their shared humanity, perhaps a brighter future awaits them after all. Please leave the comment below if you like this video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.